Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bhavna Solanki. In today's video, I'm going to teach you about what is data structure, what is table, what is foreign key, what is primary key, what is constraint, and types of constraint we used in SQL. Then, what are the commands we are using in SQL? All the theory we are going to learn today. We have already learned about what is SQL and what is databases and how to do installation in class 1 and class 2. This is our class 3 of SQL tutorial. So let's start with today's class. Let's start understanding database structure with this diagram. Here you can see this big box. This big box is denotes database. In database, we have created a table which has data stored in it, which are in the form of rows and columns. So this is a data structure. Data structure can be defined like this. Exactly look like this: database, then table. There it is not necessary there is one table in databases. It can be multiple table also. So that is why it is called RDBMS, Relationship Database Management System. Let's understand what is table. So to understand data structure properly, we need to understand what is table. Here you can see the vertical direction. The data given in vertical direction represents column, and data given in horizontal direction represents row. This is Let's learn what is table with this example. This is a student table. So we can see here we have roll number, name, class, date of birth, gender, city, marks in vertical form. If the data given is in a vertical direction, then it is known as column. This is column 1, column 2, column 3, and so on. If the data in the form of rows in horizontal direction like this is row 1, then it is row. So the combination of column and rows known as table. Simple definition: the combination of rows and column known as table. In SQL, generally the general structure of the table represents column, and the individual information of a particular person represents rows. Okay, if you want to see the general structure like roll number, name, class, date of birth, gender, city, marks, these are the general structure which are in a vertical form known as column, and these are the horizontal structure which is given the information of a particular person, individual information of a particular person. So that these are known as rows. So combination of rows and table is rows and column is table. So we have understand what is table in databases. Now the database diagram. This is a database diagram which has data of sales and data of production, which are related to each other. Here you can see customer ID in customer table also, and here you can say customer ID in order table also. In order items, there is an order ID related to this customer order data and sales or customers table. Here you can see multiple table like customers, staffs, orders, stores, order items, categories, products, stocks, brands. So this type of diagram is automatically generated in databases when we have put our information that our table should contain this type of information. Then you can see this diagram which is automatically can be generated before you start writing queries in databases. SQL data types one by one. These are the different types of data types like character, variable character, blob, int, tiny int, big int, bit, float, double boolean, date and year. So let's see one by one. Sorry. Data types are mainly classified in three categories. The first category is string. String means values which are in the form of alphabet, which are in order of alphabetical, like from A to Z, any alphabet, or like small a to small z. Let's take, let's suppose we need to store a student mail ID or any employee's mail ID. Then this type of data type, uh, we need to define data types character. For this type of data, like someone's name, address, mail ID, some location name, some city name, where uh, these are the example of character data types. Like we need to define a character. Let's suppose, and this is a variable character where the data don't have any fixed length. And in character, the data we have stored are in the form of fixed length, right? Up to 0 to 225, this is a limit. And likewise, character 50, variable character 50, we can write or we can define our data type. Okay, let's suppose what is the difference in character data type and variable character data type? There is one difference. Let's suppose we have written this character 50 for one column and variable character 50 in second. Column number 2 is variable character and column number 1 is character. So let's suppose we want to put, we have given a limit up to 50 to 50. So this is our memory place where we have 50 bytes, total 50 bytes. These are 50 bits of data we need to store. So we have limit up to 50. Okay. So, but we have a city like Pune, Pune, city name we need to store. So this, we have total 50 bits of data to store, but in Pune we only need four bits. But in character data types, all the reserved place also get fixed. So you have to fix the character length of the data is fixed in character data type, whereas so this is an extra place which get reserved in character data type, whereas in variable character data types, let's suppose we are putting Pune, city name. So this will only use this much place. No extra place can be used in variable data types. Let's suppose we have a city name Mumbai. So this will only store data from Mumbai. Though it has a limit, extra limit, but the extra place, the computer memory does not get wasted in variable data type, in variable character data type. So we always prefer variable character data type, varchar, for our day to day in our day to day life. So this is more used data type than character data type. So this is a minor difference. Here we have fixed reserve place. Here we don't have a fixed reserve place. We can place our value according to our requirement. So this is character and variable character is there. Now blob. Blob is a value can store binary large object. Binary large object means a string value which has a large amount, right? If we want to store any big file data, which has a large in size. So that type of string we can store in block, binary large object. Then next is integer. Integer means integer has a limit from this, ranges from this number -2 to 647 up to. Integer means numerical value. All the numerical value, it can be positive, it can be negative also. All the numerical value like employee ID, student roll number, these are in numerical type, right? So all the numerical value data type is, we have to put data type is int, integer. Tiny is a small version of int only, where you can store, this is a range, minimum range. So this is nothing similar to int. We have medium int also. We have big int also. Big int, the limit is different. The range is different for big int. So next is bit. Bit means can store X bit values with X can range from 1 to 64. Bit we are using in a computer programming language. We have, what is a bit type? Bit data type. In programming, we have stored our data in a bit form. So if it is written bit 2, can store X bit values, X can range from 1 to 64. This is a limit for bit data type. Where let's suppose it is written bit 1. So either you can store 0 or you can store 1 in bit data type. Okay. So we can write bit 1 as a data type. If we have written bit 2, then there are 4 possibilities. Either you can store 00 or 01 or 10 or 11. Any value out of 4 you can store in bit to data type. Next we have float. Next is float, the numbers which has a decimal value like 12.5. This is a floating point. So numbers like this are known as a floating numbers. So we have to write data type float in execution. Next is double. Double is if the number is more than 23. This is a minimum digit we have stored in float. And this is if the numbers are more than 24 up to 53 digits, we can write, we can use double. Then for big numbers, we have to use double. For small numbers, we have to write float, but numbers in decimal, all the decimal number. Then next is Boolean. Boolean value is 0 or 1, means true or false. True or false. But in SQL, this is the same. We are for implementing true or false, we are using tiny int in MySQL. Let's suppose the value is 0, then we have to consider it is true. And if the value is false, then we have to consider it is 1. So likewise, we have a data type here. Then next is date. The format is this for date, year, month, days. Then here we have date time also, time date also, only time also in MySQL data types. So all these are the example of data types, and we will use in our practical examples. Then you will be more clear how we can use these data types for every single query. So that's it. So all the data types, there are 2 more data types which are related to tiny int, like signed and unsigned. So let me explain what is tiny int unsigned or what is tiny int indeed signed. So if the data, all the numerical data type like integer, float, then double, then tiny int, all these numerical data types, which can be positive or can be negative. So all the positive or negative and negative, all the numerical data types, either now integer, float, double, tiny int, all these data types are known as signed data type. Okay, tiny int, signed data types, where we can store positive or positive value also and negative value also. But the limit is only minus 128 to 127. So up to we cannot store tiny int. In tiny int we cannot store 128, the positive 128 or positive 129. Though it is positive value, but we cannot store because the limit is only up to 127. So to increase the range, we have a tiny unsigned data type. Okay. To increase this range, we can convert it in positive value. So we are using unsigned data types. Let's suppose unsigned data types are those where we already know the value will come in positive only. Value we are storing, it is positive only. Let's suppose someone's age, it cannot be negative, right? The set age of a person is always going to be positive. It is always going to be positive. The salary of the person, it is also considered as a positive value. So salary cannot be deducted in the it is always going to be positive. The age of a person is always going to be positive. So these are the positive value. We already know the age and salary of a person is going to be positive only, not going to be negative. So that is why we are using tiny unsigned to make this value into positive value, and range is also high to 255 numbers you can store in tiny int unsigned. So this is all about data types we are using in MySQL. We're going to use in MySQL. And next we are going to learn about primary key and foreign key. Topic is primary key and foreign key. Let's understand what is primary key and foreign key. What is the definition of primary key and foreign key? In SQL, structured query language, a primary key and a foreign key are both used to establish relationship between tables in a relationship databases. Okay. Uh, this is table 1 and this is table 2. Primary key, we have different columns in table 1, right? Like road number, name, city, ID, city name, city ID, city name. So primary key help us. The basic uses of primary key is that it help us to fetch out the remaining data about a particular number, okay, for the future analysis. So if we want any information about this name, Karan's information, which city is staying, all this information. So we used one key, which is unique in nature and which is unique in nature. So that is where for that kind of information, to fetch out information, we used primary key. So primary key is always unique in nature, and it is the second condition is it should not be null. Okay, there should be any value in a primary key. So here in a student table, we can see roll number is a primary key. We can consider roll number as a primary key. But if there is one more column in this table, like student ID, particular student ID. So here there should not be two primary key. It is always one column we can consider as a primary key, because unique ID also we all the ID we have, it is also unique in nature, like roll number, and two-person can have same name, but two-person cannot have the same roll number or same ID, right? So it is a possibility that two-person can have same name. So that is why we are using primary key for its uniqueness. But it should be only one column to be considered as a primary key, not a two column. Okay, not this one. In- This is a this is the best explanation I think for the primary key. And what is a foreign key? To understand primary key and foreign key, they are interrelated with each other. Okay, they are linked with each other. Right? This is a student table and this is a city table. Here, roll number is a primary key, but here city ID is a primary key for city table. Table number two, city ID is a primary key. Here you can see city ID given here also, but this column we cannot consider as a primary key because it is repeating in nature, and primary key should be always in unique nature. It should be unique in nature. So this field you can see number one is given to Mumbai and number two is given to Pune, and again Mumbai is coming. So number one, this code is given for city ID and Delhi for number three. So in this table, all the city are given unique numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So for this table, this column is a primary key. Okay, for this column is primary key. But for this table, only this column is primary key, roll number, which is unique in nature. And this column is known as foreign key. The name itself shows it is an outside key, foreign key. So if one column is primary key in another column, then that column is known as foreign. Okay, then that type of column we can call it as a foreign key. So that is a foreign key can be a duplicate in nature. You can see here also we have for number one and here also. So it can be duplicate in nature, while primary key should be unique. And in foreign key, you can put a null value also. We can have a null value also in foreign key, but in primary key, we should not have any null value. There should be any value in this field. Okay, so this is the explanation of foreign key. Let us understand what is a definition. So primary key is a column. Let me grab this first. So primary key is a column or a set of column in a table that uniquely identifies each row in that table. Okay. It must contain unique values and cannot contain null values. We already learned. Typically, primary keys identify individual records in a table and are often associated with an auto-incremented integer column. Okay. You can see where we have number like 1, 2, 3, 4 and roll numbers. Next, what is foreign key? Okay, a foreign key is a column or a set of column in one table that reference the primary key in another column. Okay, this is like a reference link. It establishes it, establi- it establishes a link or a relationship between two tables by referencing the primary key of one table as a foreign key and in another table. It helps enforce referential integrity, ensuring that the value in the foreign key column match the value in the primary key columns of the reference table. We already seen this that example, city table example. So foreign keys are used to establish relationship between tables and maintain data consistency. There can be multiple column can be foreign keys. We can consider multiple column as a foreign key. Uh, that is the main difference in primary key and foreign. Next, what is construct? So in SQL, constraint is a rule defined on a table column or a set of columns that enforces data integrity and maintains the accuracy, consistency, and reliability of the data stored in a relational databases. Constraints define certain conditions or properties that the data must satisfy. They are used to specify limits, rules, and relationships for the data in tables. So the simple example of constraints is nothing but a condition we have put so that in future we uh, cannot have any error in whichever query we have written. So for future analysis and less uh, chances of mistakes, we have used constraint. Let's suppose we are putting there is a table and we are storing there is a table and we are storing a data like email ID. There is a chances of two-person can have same email ID, right? Because they may have same name, so they can have a same email ID. So we need to rectify this problem because we want only unique email ID, only one unique email ID in our data set for better analysis. So for that we have to put constraint. Constraint can be different types. So here we can put some constraint we are going to learn in future one by one so that we can if someone put same email id so that that pop up our screen that this is a wrong we need to put different email id. Okay, so that this will give an error simultaneously. Certainly it will give an error that this is the same email id, so you need to put another email id instead of this email id because it is already in use. So that's why we are using constraint for better maintenance and accuracy and consistency and reliability. So let's understand different whatever constraints we have in SQL. Next, types of constraints. Let me rub this first. So the most commonly used constraints in SQL are first is not null. Not null ensures that the column does not have a null value. Okay. Not null constraint means we are putting a condition that this column should not have any null value. Null value means any empty value. The column should not have any empty value. Then second is unique. Unique means ensures that all values in a column are different. Okay. All the values like employee ID, roll number, this type of column should be, or for this type of column, we should put the constraint like unique. Okay. Then next is that this is for the best practices. Putting constraint means you will not have any error in future. So for future betterment, we are using this type of constraint. Okay, for future analysis. Then next is primary key. Primary key is a combination of not null and unique. If you want to this both this condition in one at a time, then we have to put primary key as a constraint. Okay, so that will cover both the condition. The column should not have any null value and column should be unique. Column should have unique numbers. Okay, unique field. Next is foreign key. Foreign key prevents actions that will destroy links between tables. Used to link multiple tables together. Okay, with the help of foreign key, we can link two or more tables. We have already seen the database diagram where we can see we have a customer ID in two or more than two or three tables so that we can fetch out our data and it will help us to um, reduce our mistakes. And next is check, ensure that the value in a column satisfies a specific condition. This is here we can take uh, mail ID example so that where we have given a condition that you need to check this email ID should not come twice. Then next is default sets a default value for a column if no value is specified. It's simple. We need to set a default value whether it is true or false, it will give a default value for a column is now value is satisfied. If it is true, then it will become as true, and otherwise it will give a default value. Okay. Then create index used to create and retrieve data from the database very quickly. This is also one of the data type where we are creating index. Index means giving a number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that it will help us to retrieve data from the database. So we have completed all the theory part here about MySQL data structure, data types, foreign key, primary key, constraints, all these things theory part we have completed. Now we are going to move for a practical part, but one most important thing is left, that is type of SQL command. So let's understand this. There are different types of SQL commands in SQL. We have DDL, that is data definition language, where we can create, alter, rename, truncate, and drop. Many database we can create table, we can alter table, we can rename the table, we can truncate, means drop, we can drop any value in the table. All this type of operation is coming under DDL command, like data definition language. Then next is data query language. This select command is coming under data query language, where we have select particular data table or particular column. Or if we want to see any column, we can use select command, like which is coming under DQL, data query language. Then next is DML, data manipulation language, where we have operations like insert, update, delete. If you will make any changes in the data set given in the column or database, then we can use, if you were to insert, update, or delete any data from the database, then you can use DML command, that is data manipulation language. All this type of operation is coming under this category. Then next is data control language, which has grant and revoke permission to user. Where, let me explain this with an example. Let's suppose we have a data of a college, okay, where we have a data column, we have a database, college database, and then we have data of a fees, student fee. We have data of, like the next column, we in next databases, we have database of student marks. So in SQL, here, this fees database, this fees database is for account department. So it is helpful for account department, and this marks databases is helpful for teachers. Okay. We in SQL, in DCL data control language, we can get given access of this fees databases to accountant, and we can give access to teachers to see the marks of the student. Okay, so we can decide which users should have an access with which databases. Like this account department should not have access with marks, student marks, and this teacher should not have an access with fees related data. So that's why DCL we are using. This is an example of DCL data control language, where we give permission to users, like we give permission to this accountant and this teacher to have an access with their related data. This is DCL. This is coming under data control language. Then next is data transaction control language. This is a little bit advanced, but we are using to start a transaction, commit, and verify. So this is a little bit advanced. We will see all these SQL commands in practical also from the next class. So that's it. Here we have, I think, done all the theory part, all the interview question, everything we have completed right now. So some of the question you will interviewer asked on this theory. So make sure you watch the video till the end. So let's end this session and see you in next class. Thank you.